Hello and welcome to Die Hard United, the one stop for everything Manchester United. My name is Jude, your host here on Die Hard United, and today we're going to be talking about all the news that was released on Friday, which is today, of course. And we have updates from Erik and his press conference for our FA Cup game against Fulham on Sunday, and also Sir Jim Ratcliffe was at Carrington and Old Trafford, and he also met with Erik today, and also the Qataris gave us an update, or we had an update from the Qataris indirectly also coming out today. So let's get straight to everything I was talking about concerning Manchester United this Friday. And starting with the first thing coming out today, Sergeant Ratcliffe was at Old Trafford and Carrington today. The same thing that happened with the Qatar yesterday, that was exactly what happened with Sergeant Ratcliffe today. He came to Old Trafford first, had a meeting with the Rain Group, the board members of Manchester United, and also the Glazers, and he was taken around the stadium. And also, he also went to Carrington, our training complex, where he also met briefly with Erik Ten Hag. I will tell you what Erik Ten Hag had to say about that later on. But he did exactly the same thing the Qataris did yesterday. He came, he saw, really conquer. We'll find out about that. But he just came to do the same thing. There was a presentation that the Rain Group are going to present to him. And of course, you know the essence of this whole thing was to let him see the potential in the club if he decides to buy the club, and also it's a means for him to like increase his bid, because we're showing you what you will stand to gain if you buy this club. So with the hope that you would bid a bit bigger for the club. I think that's the essence of anything, to make sure that the two active bidders, or two biggest bidders, are able to see the potential of the club and bid fire. That's basically what it's all about. And also, we also heard that they have the next 10 days to place their second bid. We all know that they've already made their first bid, but that was without full knowledge of the club accounts and many other things. So now they have seen, they have more knowledge about the club and also our potential. So it's for them to make their second bid, and that second bid would be received in the next 10 days. So by this time next week, or early, I think in the next 2 weeks we'll get to see or hear what the second bids were from the two candidates, that is Sergeant Ratcliffe and the Qataris. On to the next topic, the Europa League draws was held today, and that was for the quarterfinals, and Manchester United was drawn against Sevilla, and of course another Spanish team from La Liga, which we are going to end up disgracing again. But to see this relationship with Sevilla, it's a bit more personal, because under Ole, it was it was a disgrace the way we played against them. So this is a chance for Ten Hag to prove himself, and also the players to prove themselves that they are back and they are better than last 2 or 3 years ago, where Sevilla disgraced us. I'll see say that again, they did disgrace us. But we are pitted against Sevilla in the Europa League draws, which is good for us. We did one against Barcelona, but it's definitely good for us. I think it's a good challenge for us. We need to prove ourselves. We need to prove that we're a bit better. We played against Real Sociedad in the group stage. In the round of 32, we're playing against Barcelona. In the round of 16, we got Real Betis. Now we're getting Sevilla. So now we have played. This will be the fourth Spanish team we have played in Europa League this season. And of course, if we end up beating them, that would be a statement to the La Liga, and the Premier League versus La Liga. The La Liga definitely has dropped down a whole mile. But also, Real Madrid was pitted against Chelsea in the Champions League. So we'll see what happens then. But that's none of our business. But for us, beating Sevilla will be beating the fourth Spanish team this season, which will be awesome for everybody. Of course, we'll be qualifying into the semi-final of the Europa League, but also we're having a statement to the all the La Liga teams that Manchester United is here and Manchester United is back. Sure, beating Barcelona was enough to do that, but beating Sevilla also is a bit more personal, like I said, because they did something to us last time around in the Europa League, and now it's time for us to. It's basically revenge for the players. Most of these players were there. Many of them were there, so it's time for revenge, and hopefully we get one over them. But I'm just going to bring you a few quotes from Erik Ten Hag's press conference today. Talking about meeting up with Sergeant Ratcliffe, he said, "I just met them. We shook hands, but my focus is on the game. So it's not a big deal. They were in Carrington. He was in Carrington. They met, shook hands, and everybody went their separate ways. He has no business with the takeover of Manchester United. He refused to give his opinion concerning the takeover, and of course that's true. We have a game on Sunday, so what is it's basically none of his business talking about the takeover. He's not the one that's going to decide. He's the coach. His job is to focus on football, and that's exactly what he's focusing on. Erik ten Hag was asked about Marcus Rashford and his progress this season. He said he has definitely progressed during the season, and he was not in the best shape when the season started, but then the way he plays gives him a base, and he brings his skill set, attitude, and mentality. And of course, that's not a surprise. Marcus Rashford has been a beast this season. Last season was probably his worst season as a Manchester United player, but this season he has really turned that around, and he has been much better. So credit goes to Erik ten Hag, but also credit goes to somebody else who brought in as a coaching staff under, not we actually, someone else Erik ten Hag brought in as a coaching staff this season, and that is Benny McCarthy. And here's what Erik ten Hag had to say about Benny McCarthy's relationship and with Rashford and his development. Here's what Erik ten Hag had to say about Benny McCarthy turning around Marcus Rashford's form. He said, "I think the most important, of course, is the way of play that gives him the base and structure, and the way of play is in his favor. I knew his skills." And he also said about Ben McCarthy, you also bring staff around who can make him better and make him progress, and who can get him motivated. I thought we needed one of those staff who was specific for strikers, and Benny is doing a good job. So kudos goes to Benny McCarthy for developing and motivating Marcus Rashford. The job is only for Erik ten Hag, it's for all the coaches, and Benny McCarthy has had a huge impact on Marcus Rashford's form this season. And also to some good news, Erik ten Hag on Christian Eriksen, he said he won't be ready for Sunday, but he'll be ready in April. He's about to come back. So Christian Eriksen got injured some few weeks back. I can't remember when. Very stupid tackle from Andy Carroll. Yeah, Andy Carroll is a prat, but he has been out for a very long time. But he's going to be back early April, I guess. Yeah, he should be back early April. That's good news for us, because now the midfield, our midfield issues will be a little bit better now, because it's be Casemiro, Eriksen, and Bruno the way it's supposed to be. That's our best midfield. So Eriksen is soon to be back. And also in his press conference, he said about Casemiro's injury. About Casemiro's suspension. He said, "We have had many more games without Casemiro. We did really well without Casemiro against Arsenal, Leeds, and also at the start of the season. I want to have Casemiro available. He has a huge impact on our game." So he's basically saying that it's a huge loss, of course, for the team losing Casemiro through suspension, but also we have been playing good without Casemiro previously, so we can definitely continue with that. I agree to some extent, but of course we know Casemiro is very important for that midfield. It's going to be very obvious that he's not in the midfield when we play games for the next 4 games, but we'll just have to manage. That's the most important thing. And Erik ten Hag said his expectations for Marcus Rashford this season, before the start of the season, he said, I think I said it in the summer, I was asked if I believe in Rashford or Martial, one of them could score 20 plus goals, and I said yes, I believe. I think this is coming from his interview when he was about to get a Manchester United job. I think because it was also reported that the reason why he got the job, he wowed Richard Arnold and John Mota and the rest of the board members involved in the interview process, but also he promised, or he made Marcus Rashford his focal point in his whole agenda about developing Manchester United. He believed so much that he would develop Marcus Rashford, and so far so good. He has definitely done that. And it's so unfortunate that Anthony Martial has just been so injury prone throughout the whole season, because I guarantee you Marcus Rashford has been in very, very good form. But if Anthony Martial could or had been a little bit less injury prone, he should be getting around 10 to 15 goals by this time of this season. But it's so unfortunate that with Vegas, who came in January, has played more games and has played more minutes than Anthony Martial, because he has been injured for more than, I think, 80% of the game this season, which is very, very poor. So it's very good to see that Marcus Rashford had really developed under Erik ten Hag, and Erik ten Hag also had it in mind even before getting a job that he would definitely will or can improve Marcus Rashford, and he has definitely done that, which is kudos to his abilities and also kudos to the mentality of Marcus Rashford. And a very interesting update from the Qataris. It is said that the Qataris are prepared to overpay for Manchester United. This is getting really hot and spicy, because I think between the Qataris and Sir Jim Ratcliffe, we all know that the Qataris has way much money than Sir Jim Ratcliffe. And of course, what is the most important thing to the Glazers? It is money. They don't care about who they are selling the club to. They don't care if the person cares about the club or any other thing. What they care about is about money. So with the Qataris saying they are willing to overpay for Manchester United, it is safe to say that you're probably going to win because they are ready to throw out any amount of money to get the club, and it seems they are really desperate to do that. So that would be the perfect scenario for the Glazers, and it is obvious that most likely the Qataris will get the club because um, Sergeant Ratcliffe and INEOS really wants the club also, but I don't think they're ready to pay over the odds for the club. And I think the first bid of the Qataris was around 4.5 billion. So maybe we might get a new bid of 5 billion, 5.5 or 6 billion. And I guess 6 billion is enough to get the club. That's around what the Glazers want. I think they want between 6 to 8 billion, which is very unrealistic. But 6 billion could seal the deal. I don't think Sergeant Ratcliffe is willing to pay 6 billion to get Manchester United because already he's taking loans to buy the club, but not putting the club on loan, but not putting the club on debt. He's putting INEOS is going to take the debt, which is going to be used to buy the club. But him taking loans to buy the club is obvious that he doesn't really have that much money available. So it's definitely going to be a win for the Qataris, for me, in my own humble opinion. That is, if the Glazers even eventually sell. But it is very unlikely they don't sell. Today at Carrington, some fans did a little bit of protest, posting banners of Glazers out, full sale is a must, blah 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 blah. So the pressure for the Glazers to sell is there, and it is obvious that they will highly they will most likely sell the club, but they could also take in investments. So it could be a full sale or it could be investment, but I don't think anybody will be stupid enough to invest in the club with the negativity around the club on the Glazers. So I don't think anybody will be willing to invest in the Glazers. And also getting an investment into the club will mean taking some part of the Glazers shares. So I don't think they won't be able to take their dividends, taking money out of the club, blah 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 blah. It'll be about getting money in to build the stadium and then being in more depth. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think that this is the perfect time for them to cash out and fuck out of the club. But we'll see what happens. But it's definitely heating up with the next bid due to going in 10 days. So let's just see. You have 10 days to make their second bid and probably be the final second and final bids. Then if an acceptable bid is gotten, then we'll move on to the next phase, which will be checking the accounts, more and more lawyer and finances work, which I don't have really not much idea about, but it's definitely soon to end. But with the way everything is going, if everything keeps on progressing, the club will definitely be sold before the end of the season or by the end of the season, so that the new owners could have the transfer window all to themselves. But a very stupid news which was reported today was Manchester United have appointed Adidas executive Matt Hargreaves to one of their most key positions in player recruitment for Erik ten Hag, with the new arrival at Old Trafford negotiating deals for the club. Like, I don't understand why we are appointing people, negotiators for Manchester United when we're about to be taken over by new owners, and most likely all these people would have to leave. I think it was last month. Yeah, I think it was last month. We appointed a head of, what do they call it? Head of operations. Yeah, we appointed a head of operations who's going to deal with transportation, food, blah blah blah, stupid positions like that. When those news comes out, I'm wondering, why are we appointing new people when the club is about to be sold? Surely, if we get new owners and those owners are competent enough, they're supposed to sweep the whole club clean in terms of people running the club, except from the coaching staff. But when it comes to the non-coaching staff, people running the club, those people, most likely many of them have to go. Like those that take decisions, not really the people in the kitchen or things like that. The media team, maybe even the media team will have to go, because the admin of our Twitter page sometimes doesn't really know what he's doing. But it's really, really surprising. The club is about to be sold and you're appointing new people. It doesn't make sense. But let's just hope that it's probably a friend of a friend helping a friend to get a position into the club, so that when they are being sacked, you go out with huge payout. Because definitely, if you're employing me in March and the club is being taken over in June, and I've signed a contract, I'm probably going to pay me off my whole wages um stated in the contract. So it'd be like working for 3 months and getting a salary of maybe 2 years, 3 years, or something like that. So I'm just going to take it like that's how it is been. That's what they're doing, because it doesn't make sense at all. But yeah, we appointed a new a new what's the name called again? This called We appointed a new key someone in the key positions in player recruitment, maybe a negotiator or a scout or blah 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 blah, something like that. Because his specific role wasn't really stated, but it's really really silly anyway. Because the club is being sold, so why are you importing somebody new? Doesn't really make sense. I did this previously in this video, but it has just been reported now that Sheikh Jassim's second offer for Manchester United is expected to be close to the Glazers' 6 billion valuation. So I think that's going to happen. They're desperate, so they're going to offer 6 billion or whatever the Glazers want for them to be able to purchase the club. So let's just say it is most likely that Qataris are going to get the club, and I guess majority of the Manchester United fans actually want the Qataris. So I think they are the front runners for now, but anything could happen anyway. We know Manchester United are being bought under the company called the 92 Foundation, owned by Sheikh Jassim. We all know that it is still the Qataris buying Manchester United, and the same Qataris own PSG. But with suffering the UEFA chairman saying they will look at the rules concerning dual ownership of clubs, so it is looking likely that they're going to relax some of the rules and they're going to be allowed to buy Manchester United. So we'll see how that pans out. But anyway, it's looking like the Qataris are going to own Manchester United and own PSG at the same time. But let's see what happens. But most likely, this is the question: if the Qataris own Manchester United and own PSG, where is their focus going to be more on? And definitely it has to be Manchester United, because Manchester United is the bigger club, bigger fans, bigger league. Definitely has to be bigger history. Definitely has to be Manchester United. So we'll see how that goes. But we all know that the Qataris are offering us no debts, new stadium, new training facilities, new engagement for the fans, blah 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 blah, which is very very good for us, and it's definitely what we need. And it's looking likely that we're going to be bought by the Qataris. So it's time for many fans to really open up their minds to the Qataris. I know most people don't like the human rights issues, the way their lifestyle over there, but that has nothing to do with the club. It has nothing to do with the club. Already, even in the UK, the Saudis have, or the Arabs have, a lot of investment in the UK already. So Manchester United is no difference. So just be open up to the idea that we are most likely going to be bought by the Qataris. And that aside, we have a game on Sunday against Fulham, and I'm going to be previewing that game tomorrow. I'm going to be dropping a new video tomorrow. So for now, I think I'm just going to be doing one video a day. For now, this is a new style of content. Don't forget to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and also click on the notification bell to be alert to be alert whenever I post any video, basically. And yeah, leave a comment in the comment section. Do you want the Qataris at Manchester United or not? Or who are your preferred owners at Manchester United? It could be the Glazers. Maybe some people even like the Glazers, maybe. But I'm going to be confused as what kind of fans that would be. But who would you prefer, Jim Ratcliffe or the Qataris owning Manchester United? And that's all for now. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you all on the next one.